Welcome to another edition of Saturday Night Live. Yes, I've got my, there's been so much happening here. There's even I've written down a couple of sketches, and because they're like announcements to the public, I've written them down so it doesn't matter if I'm reading it, because you'll see later in the video why I've had to handwrite it all down, and the jokes are thick and fast on there. I have written the jokes down. I've had because it's not being vague with the story and then adding jokes to it. That's how the sketch part of this show works. So there will be a couple of sketches on there, and right at the end I will do the Family Guy impressions that I promised to do last week and forgot. So without further ado, here's the news that's happened this week. Well, on Monday, the country had a great news because 10 o'clock Monday morning, Starmer stood outside the doors of 10 Downing Street at his little podium, the weakest link podium, you know. So there we have it. So he resigned. Well, basically, he got evicted from the people who voted at the Makerfield by-election, didn't they? So here we go. So yeah, it's a well-known fact. So we've had 7 prime ministers in the last 10 years. So going from David Cameron, then of course we had Theresa May, then Boris, then Rishi Sunak, and then 42 days of Liz Truss, then what was that Sunak that came in after her? I can't remember which way around she came in, and then somebody else took over. It's like musical chairs at number 10 Downing Street, isn't it? So so 7 prime ministers in 10 years, and in the last 5 years we've had 4 prime ministers in 5 years. And you wonder why this country's gone to shit. So it has. And of course, Andy Burnham won the Makerfield by-election, so he's the number 1 guy to be the next Prime Minister. But this calls for a general election. Will an election take place? Who knows? So he could be installed in 3 weeks' time as Prime Minister. And from what I've heard, from what Donald Trump was saying, is what I heard was Andy Burnham is a bit too liberal, way too liberal. We don't need that. No, it was bad enough for Starmer, but Burnham, I think he's going to burn the country to the ground. He's going to burn the UK. The people of the UK need to vote for reform. That's what they need to do. With my friend Nigel Farage. Oh, well, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. So, there we have it. And, there's not much been happening besides that. So, we've got the that's all that's been in the news. Starmer, Burnham, which is going to lead me neatly into the two sketches that are going to come up in a moment, but this is the news section. So bizarre news now. We've got the in Texas Hill, in Texas, an 18-foot giraffe called Gracie managed to wander out of her enclosure at a remote ranch and completely evaded detection for 2 weeks. And from helicopters and everybody else around. And even a $5,000 reward for finding Gracie. I mean, with all these facial recognition cameras, you'd think they'd be able to spot a giraffe amongst the people. Well, it's got such a long neck, it can stick its neck out for anybody, can't it? So I think they're having it was definitely having a giraffe. That's Cockney rhyming slang for laugh for those of you watching this outside the UK. And for those in the UK who didn't know what having a giraffe is, Cockney rhyming slang for laugh. So, now I'm Cockney. Cocky maybe, but not Cockney. So, yeah, she was eventually found, safe and well, enjoying her newfound freedom. You can watch, if ever they bring back prisoners, Prison Break, they'll have the new, they'll have Gracie as the new lead. Probably put on a lead. Anyway, entertainment news now. Well, entertainment / celebrity news. Jeremy Clarkson has revealed his life has changed since being diagnosed with prostate cancer. And he now, he has said that he now drives more slowly and has developed a fondness for vegetarian food. So you can imagine him now when he's feeling a bit hungry. Well, what do you expect from me, Jeremy Clarkson? I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. But now that I've gone vegetarian, I don't know what that would be, but I could eat a tomato or a carrot. If I really want to splash out, I'll go and buy a cabbage. And then you at home can see me on the next edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I already am, because I get paid by ITV to host programs like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Also, BBC have announced a 4th series of Gladiators. That's one that's presented by Bradley Walsh and his son Barney. The applications for the show have now closed, and there's no in this upcoming series, because these two gladiators have left, Legend and Giant have left. There should be a new one, and I think Russell Crowe is going to be a new gladiator, Maximus Painius. And in his round, if you've have a disagreement with him, he yanks a phone out of its socket and throws it at you. Or if he's got his mobile phone, he'll throw that at you. And if you're really unlucky, he'll throw the landline phone first and then his mobile phone at you. So you'll have two bumps on your head, won't you? So how do you take your sugar? 1 lump or 2? Right. So in a moment we'll get to the sketches. Got 2 sketches today, and then I shall finish with the Family Guy impressions, because I know you like it. Right now it's time for Cards Against Humanity. So as you can see, I'm shuffling, and in the meantime you may want to see what I've got here. Grumpy Old Man Club. There. Which reminds me, 7 dwarfs in bed feeling happy. It says piss off, so I felt grumpy instead. So, Cards Against Humanity time. And there is an official Cards Against Humanity website. A free plug for them. There you go. So here we go. So here I go. Cards Against Humanity. And the first card, which I'm plucking from the top, because I'm a plucking nuisance. What is Keir Starmer thinking about next week? Oh, what's it got here? An Oedipus complex. Well, his resignation already sounds like a Greek tragedy in itself. So, what will Andy Burnham be thinking about the moment he moves into number 10? Haggis. He's probably thinking about Nicola Sturgeon's husband, Peter Murrell, who was jailed for embezzlement. Yes, the only bars he'll be propping up now are the ones up against the windows in his cell. So, Jeremy Clarkson, what is he thinking about this week? Genuine human connection. Well, it's only since I've become a vegetarian. Which reminds me, when a vegan is giving a man a blowjob, are you tempted to say, it's been a while since you've had some meat in your mouth, isn't it, love? So, Bradley Walsh now, what is he going to be asking about? And one of the questions on this week's The Chase. The folly of man. Well, being on the chase is quite often a folly in itself, isn't it? And that concludes. Oh, I'd like to do a bit about this morning and loose women. What will Lorraine Kelly on the show Lorraine be talking about this week? Being on fire. Well, I'm sure if she went and got some cream and gave it a good rub, it will clear the thrush. Because that could be what's being on fire feels like for her. And also, what will Cat Dealey and Ben Shepherd be talking about on This Morning? The Jews. We'll be talking about the Jews. Would that be orange juice, pineapple juice, apple juice? I suppose if we've got an iPod, there would be apple juice then, wouldn't they? So, what would also on This Morning, towards the end of the week, I've got Snow White's favourite drink here, 7-Up. Anyway, what will Dermot O'Leary and Alison Hammond be talking about on This Morning next week? Eugenics. We're probably going to have Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates on the show. Especially Bill Gates wanting to alter DNA. I've never been in that shop before, but been in an M&S. I know a friend who's been in H&M. I know somebody who works in H&M, prisons, but there you go. You know what they say though, one good screw deserves another. And also, as long as it's not in the show block, that's what we need to worry about. And also now, Katie Price has been mentioned, hasn't she? So, about her new fella. How many fellas has she had now? I've lost track. No, I've been keeping track of them, of her fellas, because I'm not interested in how many fellas she's had. She's probably had more fellas than hot dinners. But what is she going to be thinking about this week? Katie Price says. Powerful thighs, yeah. You know how these models go for fuller lips, have more plumped up, so that they look like octopus suckers, don't they? You know, so you can just take and go shopping and just stick them to the supermarket window. You just give them, lick their lips and just go. Just stay there while I do the shopping, love. And then, you know how they all get that thing all plumped up. Where do they get that collagen from? I'll tell you. They get the collagen from a fatty tissue in your bum. So anybody who's had lip fillers, they are literally talking out their arse. So now, a couple of things. Have you noticed that, for anybody who's a Doctor Who fan, have you noticed that Keir Starmer sounds very much like a Mondasian Cyberman? He sounds a bit like this when he's talking. A bit robotic, and there's a bit of a sing-song tone to it. So here it is. Keir Starmer, my impression of Keir Starmer as a Mondasian Cyberman. And this is his resignation. I've got it written on here. And then afterwards, I'll be doing an impression of Ronnie Corbett as Andy Burnham, because it's funny when you see them together, Keir Starmer and Andy Burnham. They both wear glasses, similar sort of glasses. I thought, who else wore similar sort of glasses? The Two Ronnies. So that's what I'll be. That's what made me think Andy Burnham, oh, Ronnie Corbett. Oh, wouldn't that be funny? So that is a treat coming up after the Prime Minister, who's going on his way out now. People of Britain, let me be perfectly clear. My resignation was a logical upgrade. The Labour Party requires a cold, emotionless efficiency. West Streeting was incompatible with my hardware. Peter Mandelson was an unprotected Mondasian virus from the year that you know as 1997. He has been deleted. I have removed all human emotion from all ministerial duties. It is the only way to survive the National Health Service. You will be upgraded. Do not cry. Crying sucks. The shadow cabinet resistance is ineffective. So there we have it. That's the Prime Minister for Keir Starmer. I'm just seeing how long's gone. 24 minutes. So I shall now do Ronnie Corbett. Well, he's a bit like this. But now, how Ronnie Corbett used to say last as last, because Andy Burnham is from the north, I will pronounce last and not as last. So here we go. So this is the only way around I can do a northern version of the late Ronnie Corbett. So here it goes. So I was sitting in the back of a black cab on my way down to Westminster. Well, I say black cab. It was actually a dark grey Mondeo, driven by a lovely man called Kevin. Anyway, I said to Kevin, I said to him, I'm taking over the top job next month. He looked at me in the rearview mirror, as you do, as you do. And he says, Andy, mate, as he does, are you sure your eyelashes are up to the job? Which reminds me, my wife said to me yesterday, if you're going to be Prime Minister, she says, you need to stop wearing that dark canvas jacket every single day. So I said to her, but darling, this jacket reminds me, of that I represent the working people, the working class people of Greater Manchester. To which she replied, "No, Andy, it represents a man who doesn't know how to use a washing machine." And when I was in my constituency, I got chatting to this old lady, the old soul, delightful old soul she was. And she says that she's nearly 90 and she wants to have a bingo hall. So I said to her, I looked at her and I said, as I held her hand, I said, "Well, look, my love, planning permission alone is going to take a long time. I'd be careful because your number might come up." Another member of my Makefield constituency, he told me he was unemployed. Well, you got to take a bit of sympathy there. It's nothing worse than being unemployed. Well, he came up to me and he says, "Well, Andy, I'm unemployed. How do I get disability benefits?" So, well, you know me. I like to be a hands-on politician, and I don't believe in red tape. So I broke his legs. And there you go. That's the two sketches for you. And now, as promised, in last week's Saturday Night Satire, some Family Guy impressions. So we all like Stewie Griffin, don't we? Oh yes, everybody loves Stewie. But here's what got me about them two similar sounding sitcoms. Everyone hates Chris. Everyone loves Raymond. So what has Chris done that Raymond hasn't done? That's the bit that gets to me. Oh, and right now, here comes my stupid brother, 13-year-old brother, Chris Griffin. "Hi, Stewie. I'm a bit worried about that evil monkey that's in my closet." Obviously, that was the evil monkey, not me having some sort of turn. And here's Mr. Herbert now. "Oh, Chris. Oh, I haven't had my newspaper delivered from you for a couple of weeks, and I'm a bit behind in the news, so I thought I'll come and say, what's the news?" "I'll give you some news, Mr. Herbert. My dad's coming." "Yeah, hi, Chris." "Yeah. Peter Griffin." "Oh, hello, Herbert. What are you doing here?" "Just asking Chris, where's my newspaper?" "He's probably put it up your ass." "Oh, that's what I'll be doing if you come round again." "What do you say, Quagmire?" "Oh, yeah, giggity. But give him some giggity up the backside with his newspaper. That's where he'll hit the headlines, right up his ass. What do you say, Cleveland?" "You're nasty." "But I agree with you. I mean, my wife Loretta, she's the only person I know that can speak in stereo. I get it in both ears." And that's it for today's edition of Saturday Night Satire. Join us again next week. What's going to be in the news? Damned if I know. But one thing that is certain, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.